Good international relations are a top priority for every country. Strong diplomatic ties promote the preservation of sovereignty and territorial integrity, security against external threats, and the pursuit of economic prosperity among nations. On this episode of Government in Action, we take a look at the work of the Foreign Affairs Ministry and areas of interest that are being undertaken by foreign diplomats in various nations across the world as Guyana seeks to protect and promote its national interests. On April 3, Guyana hosted its second annual Heads of Missions Conference at the Pegasus Hotel. The week-long convention brought together Guyana's diplomatic representatives stationed in countries across the world with an aim to establish a common understanding of government policies and government's approach to diplomacy, as well as the measures that could be taken to improve and refine Guyana's foreign policy. President David Granger, while giving the feature address at this event, told the diplomatic community that safeguarding Guyana's territorial integrity and promotion of trade and economic development through diplomacy is a matter of national interest, and that an important part of Guyana's diplomatic policy is to garner international and regional support to ensure the safety and security of its citizens.
The protection and projection of Guyana's sovereignty are essential elements of Guyana's diplomacy. Guyana lacks both the economic strength to sanction other states and the military capability to extend its power beyond its borders, and it has no desire to do so. A small state, notwithstanding its limitations, can seek to influence international relations in order to achieve its foreign policy objectives.
The idea of protecting the country's national interest is also a core tenet of good international relations, and within such interest includes the protection of the country's territorial integrity. The President said that this has remained on the forefront of Guyana's international relations work program. He said that the United Nations General Assembly resolution of 1994 called on the Security Council and other relevant organs of the United Nations to pay special attention to the protection and security of small states.
Guyana has consistently elicited assurances of solidarity and support for its sovereignty and territorial integrity from the Caribbean community. And the community has never let us down. We've elicited similar support from the Commonwealth and other international organizations. An essential element of Guyana's foreign policy, therefore, has to be a continuing commitment to regional integration. Guyana's early diplomatic exertions extended to the establishment of the Caribbean Free Trade Area, CARIFTA, and the Caribbean community itself, CARICOM. These were followed by entry into the Association of Caribbean States, the Community of Latin American States, the Organization of American States, the Union of South American States, and others. Membership of these international organizations reinforce our quest for collective security and support the pursuit of our national interests.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Carl Greenidge, during his remarks said that it is important to recognize that the country's foreign policy is an extension of its national policy, and that the primary aim of foreign relations must be to promote the nation's development. As such, the minister said that Guyana's diplomatic representatives must understand their role and responsibilities as external actors, as well as the underpinnings of our national development.
I have great confidence in those representatives, and I know that at the end of this conference, we would have examined a program which will advance the interests of this country. I therefore look forward to the exchanges with our diplomats. I have little doubt that they have come here with fresh and novel ideas, which they are anxious to share with us at this conference. In the past, the Heads of Missions Conference has served as an instrument for the refinement of our foreign policy ideas and the improvement of our diplomatic representation. I expect no less on this occasion.
Topics that were high on the agenda of the week-long conference were the preservation of the country's territorial integrity with regard to its border controversy with Venezuela and Suriname, Guyana's green agenda, and the pursuit of economic diplomacy. Director General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Audrey Waddell, said that investment in diplomacy is imperative for Guyana, given the combination of both national and global circumstances and challenges.
The preservation of sovereignty and territorial integrity, security against external threats, and the pursuit of economic prosperity remain the central impulses. Accordingly, while the imperatives of our foreign policy have not changed, we do need, in the words of our national poet Martin Carter, to change with the change that changes, to adapt to the changing external environment. This Heads of Missions Conference avails us of an unparalleled opportunity to undertake collectively a review of the discharge of our responsibilities in order to obtain our pivotal foreign policy objectives.
As such, the ambassador noted that good international relations can be strengthened through the pursuit of approaches that are prudent, pragmatic, and sustainable. She expressed the hope that the conference would help to ensure that the ministry and the heads of missions are better equipped and empowered to pursue Guyana's national interest in the international realm. On the most recent episode of The Public Interest, President Granger said that government's aim is to transform the diplomatic service and to make sure that they are functioning more efficiently in their posts. The president said that the country depends on the work of its foreign missions to protect its citizens living abroad and to promote tourism, trade, investment, and other interests.
So at the country level, we want to see a very active foreign service. And at the community level, we want to see a stronger Caribbean, a stronger CSME. We want to ensure that our interests are protected by having a network of friends in UNASUR, in the OAS, in Mercosur, in CELAC, all these organizations to which we belong. So at all three levels, we know that the Foreign Service has an important role to play. The conference is very important in making sure that people are singing from the same song sheet. And I'm very glad that it is taking place, because many of the diplomats are, especially at the senior level, ambassadorial or representative level, are there for the first time as diplomats. And we hope that they help to stabilize the situation in the Foreign Service. As you know, in the previous administration, some people had been in one place for about 17 or 18 years and had lost their effectiveness. So we are in the process of transforming the Foreign Service, and this conference is very important in moving us from where we are to where we want to be.
These foreign diplomats are therefore placed in a pivotal position and are tasked with a packed mandate to act as the voice of Guyana and to forge strong partnerships to aid in the country's development. We spoke with some of the diplomats, many of whom have been recently appointed, but who within just a few months have already begun work in promoting Guyana's interests abroad. Guyana's ambassador to the United Nations Organization's Geneva, Dr. J.R. Deep Ford, said that since his appointment in October last year, he has worked to strengthen partnerships in the area of economic development, fisheries, human rights issues, and other areas.
Guyana has been able in the last 6 months that we have opened our embassy there to make linkages with not only the UN agencies, but very importantly, bilateral and other regional agencies that are based in Geneva. Very, very importantly, international trade agreements that permit market access, market entry, that facilitate linkages for investment between countries, happens in Geneva every day. To some extent, some might say all day. I can say to you that Guyana has already made its mark, very importantly, and Guyana is coordinating the Africa, Caribbean, and Pacific group of countries for this very important ministerial year in the World Trade Organization negotiations. Those negotiations will culminate to some extent in Buenos Aires this year with a ministerial meeting, and there are a number of very important issues on the table critical to Guyana's development. One of them, of course, is the essence of the Doha development round. What kind of special and differential treatment can we get for developing countries like Guyana that are seeking to diversify their economies, to transform their economies, to engage more effectively in the global arena with other economies?
Geneva is also seen as the human rights capital, and Ambassador Ford said that he is currently also involved with organizations such as the United Nations Office of Geneva, the World Health Organization, the International Labour Organization, and other bodies to discuss matters of importance in the area of human rights. The ambassador said that Geneva is a critical point of global collaboration for all countries. As such, work to create lasting partnerships through negotiations is critical in that area.
So having a good team of officers, which we do, posted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to Geneva, we are forging forward in these particular areas to ensure the development, the promotion of a green economy, a green state, and hopefully to also achieve the Sustainable Development Goals simultaneously.
Guyana's Consul General to New York, Ms. Barbara Atterley, in her 8 months since being appointed to the post, said that her interactions have been mostly focused on the promotion of the development of Guyana in order to form stronger economic, social, and cultural ties. With Guyana's certain future as a petroleum-producing nation, she attested that she has been in talks with potential investors as well.
I have been engaged with several persons who, both Guyanese and non-Guyanese, who have consulted the consulate on investment issues. And whether it was direct financial investment, many of them in the area of agro production, and engineering with the onset of the oil exploration that is scheduled to take place in Guyana. So you find that persons are coming in, especially Guyanese, to find out how they can be part of the investment in Guyana, given the pending oil production.
New York also is home to the largest population of Guyanese in the diaspora. The Guyanese diaspora is also the 5th largest immigration population in the United States. As such, close relations with this significant group becomes a major part of the Consul General's mandate.
So you find that you have a large number of persons to deal with, from consular matters related to passports, life certificates, and the other consular matters, to issues of engagement with the diaspora. In this regard, we have found through our website that we have recently launched a new user-friendly website, and we had Guyanese associations and organizations register online. And so far we have over 150 organizations that we have to deal with. So since I'm there, one of the main aim is to see to what extent we can have the organizations working in collaboration with each other, and to ensure that they are not duplicating efforts.
The Consul General shared President Granger's sentiments on the strength of the diaspora, as she believes that it can play a major role in the economic development of the country.
Many of the members of the diaspora are very skilled, they're very knowledgeable, but we have to be careful how we harness their skills and on other investments that they would bring to Guyana, and to ensure that it's done in an orderly and systematic fashion, and not to, try to jump hurdles. So we're trying to encourage them to go through the right channels to ensure that what they do will be on record, and what they do will bring benefits not just to themselves, but to the general economy of Guyana.
Cordial diplomatic ties are ever important, especially in cases where tension exists between countries, and Guyana's ambassador to Venezuela, Ms. Cheryl Miles, is well aware of this. The ambassador said that much of her work since being appointed surrounds diaspora relations, however, as the eastern part of the country has over 250,000 Guyanese citizens living there.
Many people now are thinking of returning to Guyana because of the economic difficulties in Venezuela. And, well, they do it mostly on their own. They're very self-sufficient. And if they need some guidance about what to do, their children perhaps might not have learned English in a structured way. We're trying to see in what ways we can make it easier for them to reincorporate into the society of Guyana.
However, the ambassador said that she is aware of the current state regarding the Guyana-Venezuela border controversy and is ready and willing to honor her duty in carrying out her required role with regard to the decision that will be made by the United Nations at the end of 2017.
And this is a very important period for Guyana now, this year 2017, because the United Nations Secretary General has appointed a good officer who's a Norwegian, Doug Newlander, and he will be working together with Guyana and Venezuela for the rest of this year to see in what way he can try to bring us closer together towards a solution of the controversy. You know, our sides are very far apart. We would like to see the issue go to the International Court of Justice. It's our firm position. And Venezuela does not want to do that. They would prefer a different form of settlement. So we will discuss this year, we will talk, but if the situation continues like this with the two countries not agreeing, then we hope it will go to the International Court.
In South Africa, focus is placed on strengthening ties in the area of mining, and Guyana's High Commissioner to South Africa, Dr. Cyril Hunt, explained that there is much room for collaboration between the two countries in this area. He said that he is working to create ties to encourage investment both at a business and academic level with South African partners so that the country can learn from key aspects of South Africa's rich mining sector.
Guyana is really a gift to us. There's so many good things here. We have to find ways of harnessing them in a way that will generate employment in a sustainable way to keep our environment safe for everybody, including our animals, which are rare. We haven't seen I'm going to call an environment where we have so many live plants and animals that are so different from so many other places. So that's one area. Again, linking that to tourism, South Africa has a fairly large tourist industry. We can learn from them there as well. There's also other major things that are going on there. When we look at the activities in other areas, so like forestry and agriculture, I was so pleasantly surprised. I went into a restaurant and there was guava. They have a huge guava and agricultural program for some of the things, and they do it scientifically, and we can learn again from them. Our activities really is transferring technology and building human capital for us to move to the next level, and trying to get investors either through direct investment or partnerships, public-private, as well as franchise operations to work with us. So there is some opportunities. And lastly, one of the big things there too is the gold industry, which deals with jewelry. As you know, we export most of what we do here is exporting raw materials. We have to find a better way of putting value on our raw materials. And in Durban, South Africa, there's a large jewelry industry. I'm still to go there. I'm going there shortly to see if I can engineer some new activities and see if I can generate some interest for them to look at what we have and to move things up to the next level.
Mr. Halim Majid, Guyana's ambassador to Cuba, said that much of his work has surrounded holding open dialogue with Cuban officials, given that country's close relationship with Venezuela, as well as the re-establishment of trade and economic relations with Guyana.
In the past, we were a good trading partner with the Republic of Cuba, but those economic relations had become dormant. Now, I have engaged the Cuban Chamber of Commerce. I have engaged the Cuban Ministry of Foreign Trade and Investment and the related agencies to explore how we can resuscitate in the first place the old relationships we had, and then to create new avenues for business in Cuba.
The ambassador said that while the trade relationship had become dormant, Guyana's long-standing friendship with Cuba was still active in the form of cooperation in the areas of medicine, education, engineering, and other areas. Government believes that it is its obligation to strengthen the work of our diplomatic missions where necessary in pursuit of economic diplomacy, which is one of the reasons the conference was held. Moreover, government's aim is to expand its representation in areas that could lead to greater economic exchanges while examining existing relations to see whether they can yield greater investments and economic dividends. This is Jasmine Payne. Thank you for joining us.